Hey everybody, welcome to the Keto Mom page. My name is Stephanie and I'm so sorry if I'm stuffed up. Last night, well, first of all, we're going to talk about driving your bus. I heard this story, I heard it on a podcast or I read it in a book. I love the analogy, and as we are waiting for everybody to get their book and to start this book next Monday, I'm just going to share some stories with you for the next few days. So we are going to start this book. We're going to be doing dream boards together. Whether you have the book, you don't have the book, you can tune into the page and we'll be doing this together starting on Monday. I think it's November 14th. If you want to grab the book, take a screenshot, do it. It's going to be incredible. We're going to do it together. We're not waiting till January. Now, I do have a story for you because I think maybe it will help one person, because when I heard this story or this analogy, I was like, you know what? That's true. And there's some things I can control and some things that I cannot control. All right. So, number one, I love it. Where are you tuning in from? I'm tuning in from Minnesota. It is super cold today. It's going to be super cold until March. And I'm kind of joking. I sound super stuffy. So we have a fireplace, a real wood fireplace, and we were having a fire last night, and then all of a sudden something, I think it must have been so windy, something happened and the flap fell down so the smoke wasn't going out. We didn't catch it until the whole house was full. I mean, it was like we had fire alarms for an hour. We were like fanning the house and getting the smoke out. Everything smells like smoke. I'm so stuffed up. So anyways, got to figure out this fireplace. Hence how I smell. I mean, you can't smell me. Good thing it's not a scratch and sniff. You can hear it. I can hear it. Anyways, good morning. Tell me what you're thankful for. I am thankful for windows that are open to the windy, cold day to air out my house. That is what I'm thankful for. So I want to share with you, it's not going to be long. It's just something to think about as you're going throughout your day. And as many of you, I hope, are on a journey, you are focused on your health, right? You're here on the Keto Mom page. You probably found me because it said keto. I hope that you realize that we're not just about keto, but my goal is to help you in lots of different areas. So I want to give you this thought as you're going throughout your day. And I shared this thought with our team in our business world, but also it can pertain to you as you're setting goals and as you are dreaming, and maybe you're going to do the dream board with us or the vision board, or as you're really focusing on things for this next year, right? You're going to have people in your lives, you're going to have people in your lives that will either be excited for you, they want to do it with you, or they think that you're crazy, they don't want to join you, they might unfriend you. So I want you to think of your life as like your life and you have your own bus, right? Like you're sitting in your bus and you are driving your bus. It's your life, right? And listen, I'm a believer. I'll say like God's driving my bus, but like you're in charge of your bus, right? You're in charge of the decisions that you make, the choices that you make, your attitude, how you treat people, and the things that you do every single day. So picture this. You are in your bus. The bus is your life. And you are moving in a direction that you're excited about, you're focused on, right? So I'm driving my bus, and there are going to be people that come on your bus. There are people that are in your life that are already on your bus right now. The people that your friends, your coworkers, there are people that are in your life. They are on your bus, right? Are you following me here? You've got your spouse and your kids and your coworkers and your parents and your friends and neighbors. There's people that are on your bus. Now, I want you to know something, that when you are moving in a direction, you are making choices, especially when you are, I want to say intentional, you are more focused, you are like, I am going in a direction. No matter what, I'm going to get healthier, stronger. I'm going to make better choices. Maybe you've decided to not drink. Like that is a big one. If you're driving your bus and you, let's say, drank a lot and now you've decided to be sober. One of my friends' dads is like 8 days, right? Like if you've decided to take your bus, your life, and move in a different direction, you've got people in your bus right now that or in your life, and they might all not be supportive, but I want you to know something. Oftentimes we think that people are in our lives forever, right? I've talked about how you are like the top 5 people you hang around with most. Let's not even say like your spouse or your kids, but the people that you associate with. And I think oftentimes we think if you are growing, if you are working on yourself, if you are, you all of a sudden have this awareness of, I do have greatness inside of me. I do have things I want to accomplish. You know what? I'm going to go after these dreams and goals and visions that God has given me. You might have people that do not like that, do not support that. You might have people that seriously don't even like the fact that you want to get healthy. Because when you are focused and you're on a path and you are going somewhere, you also are going to have resistance and people that are going to go, why would you do that? That's not for you. We always go out drinking every weekend. Why would you not join me? We always do this, right? I want you to know something. That I'm actually just gonna speak about friends right now, because there is a difference in the way that you treat. It's like 2 conversations. I'm gonna say friends right now, or coworkers, or people that you can choose to either get off your bus. You can have them get off your bus. You can remove them from your bus, or they might get off your bus by themselves, right? And so, for example, some friends are for a reason, some are for a season, and some are for a lifetime. So I'm reading this legacy book right now by Sheila Craft. And I want you to know that as you're pursuing better for your life and for your family, I'm going to talk about family in a second, all right? Because I feel like it's 2 different things. I want you to know that there's people that will come into your life and they're going to get on your bus and they're going to be on your bus, and some people will be in your life for a lifetime, and that's amazing, right? Some people will be in your life for a season and they might get off your bus, and it might be sad, but you might not be going in the direction that they're going, and it's okay. Like there has to be this ever flow of like seasons in life and focus. But I tell my girls, friends come and go, and we want to always keep them. But sometimes you might have somebody that's negative, not supportive, constantly telling you you're not good enough. But I want you to just be aware of the people that you have in your life, what they're speaking over you. You are driving your bus. The bus is your life, and it's okay if people get off the bus or if you remove them from your bus. You don't have to be mean, right? Because when you're making better choices and better decisions, you're going to grow as a person, and not everybody likes that. So as you're going through this next season of visions and dreams and what you're wanting, you might have somebody that's like, what are you doing? And you can either tell them and share them and have them watch the choices you're making and take them with you, right? Or not. Now, I will tell you, and I had this conversation in our business world, because when somebody is striving to be better, when you are reading and listening to podcasts and you have an awareness of self-development, and when you're like, oh my goodness, I can do this. I am called to more. When you become a person of joy and like an optimistic person, let's say, because there's enough pessimistic people in this world, it's ridiculous. When you become that person who you're like, oh my goodness, yeah, you can do this, right? I'm going to talk to you about your family right now, because you might go, but wait, my spouse isn't on board. My kids give me a hard time. My sister doesn't agree with me, right? There's so many conversations and so many avenues we can go with, but I just want to give you awareness of something. When you are growing and you're becoming better, when you're just focusing on when it's your family, I want you to be encouraged that people are watching you. And even if you don't feel supported right now, you have enough understanding, I hope, that like, does everybody on here understand what EQ stands for? What your EQ is, your emotional quotient? I'm just going to lay it out real quick. I had a conversation with some people, and when somebody starts growing, they feel like the negative people pull them down, and it could even be your spouse. And I had people go, well, I'm not going to be a part of this relationship anymore. No, I'm growing. They're not supporting me. There is a difference when you are driving your bus and you have friends and people that are, friends of choice that can get on and off the bus. I would highly recommend that if it's your family or your spouse and you're pursuing better in your life, you take them with you, you encourage them, you have them watch you. You don't get frustrated because they are not where you're at your level, because they aren't growing like you're growing. That's where you get to be the leader. It made sense in my head, but somebody needs to hear this. You might be growing in a personal level, in your mindset, becoming a more focused and intentional person, and there might be people around you, like family, who are not. But that doesn't give you the right to throw out the divorce card. This is a real thing. I've had people go, well, I've grown so much in the last year that they just don't get me. Well, that's something that has to be worked on. There's a difference between spouse and a difference between friends. Friends can be removed if they're not supportive, and they might just remove themselves, right? But when you're pursuing better, you take people along with you. And then if they're not willing to go with you, like your children or your spouse, you be the bigger person and you be the leader. So for example, do you know what EQ stands for? Here's one of the biggest lessons I've learned. I've taught it many times on here. But as you go into this new season of creating a vision and a dream board and journaling, and if you start actually doing the things that this book says, you're going to need a lesson on EQ, and it's called your emotional quotient. And I've heard this taught a lot. There's a book called Emotional Intelligence. I don't know the author. You could look it up. It's very sciencey. This is all that I was taught. I've never read a book on it before because I understood what it meant. And here's what it is. You have your IQ, how smart you are, right? Intelligent. You have your AQ, how adaptable you are. If you go through your day and something happens and you can handle adaptability and then keep going, you've got a high level of adaptability. That's great. We teach our kids that a lot. And then you have an EQ, how well you handle your emotions. EQ, how do you handle things? Do you react or respond? Do you freak out? Do you tell people what you think? Or do you take a second, breathe, and respond when it's appropriate? Because I do not have to react right away to anything. I can take some time and respond. EQ is huge. Not a lot of people have a high EQ. So one of the biggest lessons I learned was when somebody upsets me, isn't supportive, maybe things aren't going my way, somebody says something, how am I going to respond in that situation? Because if you are going to pursue a life of wanting to go after better, not that your life is bad right now, please hear me on that. I'm not saying it in a selfish manner, but like if you're pursuing better health, better fitness, maybe you've got some goals for your finances, relationships, your children, like when you are pursuing that and you have true joy and you have an understanding of self-awareness and you're like, oh my goodness, I get to choose my attitude. I'm so thankful. You're looking at life like we hear about it, the cup half full, right? When you look and you have a different lens that you're looking at the world in and other people are not, you're going to have a strong EQ to be able to handle when people throw rocks at you or throw darts at you or tell you that you can't or why would you do that, or we've always done this in the past. Why are you so happy? Oh, your life must be perfect. Oh, right? So EQ, it is your emotional quotient. It is how well do you handle these situations and people in your life. When you're driving your bus, you're going to have people that come on and they're going to have people that are going to be supportive for a while and then they might just walk themselves off your bus or you're going to remove them, right? But you're going to handle things with a level of EQ of responding when you want to, not because you reacted out of emotion. Does that make sense? I will tell you, this is one of the biggest game changers in our life when we taught that. Now people will go, tell me about a book. I want to read a book on emotional intelligence. So you can go grab the book. It's super sciencey. All I needed to learn years ago, 7 years ago, was first I had the awareness, EQ. Oh my goodness. I didn't even know that was a thing. And then I was taught, Stephanie, you don't have to react to every single thing. You can take a second. You can breathe. You can collect the facts. You can figure out what's going on. I don't have to give you an answer right now. I can go, you know what? I hear what you're saying. Give me some time. I need to take a breather. I will come back. Like, as soon as I was taught what EQ stood for, having the awareness, understanding I don't have to react right away. I'm going to collect the facts first, and then I can respond when it's appropriate. That's all I needed to shift everything in our family as far as when we needed to have a conversation. I'm not saying that we're perfect at it, but it really, the awareness of it was enough. I didn't have to go read the sciencey book. I knew it. I remembered it. I thought about it. I applied it. So as you're going into the next, even if you're not going to join us for this book and you're going to go into the holiday season, you might need this lesson on EQ just to be able to handle family. When you're like, I have a strong EQ. Stephanie said to not react. I'm going to respond. Maybe this is why we only get together a couple of times a year. And I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm going to be the joy-filled one. I'm going to be the one that encourages people. I'm going to be the one that keeps my mouth shut. I'm going to be different. I'm going to change the atmosphere. I'm going to be the one that tells people, no, you can do it. I'm not going to be the gossipy one. I'm not going to be the negative one. I'm going to encourage all of my family to get this book and do it with me. Somebody needs this EQ lesson in the next couple of days when you're sitting around the Thanksgiving table. You remember, EQ, take a breather, shut my mouth. I'm going to collect the facts later. Sometimes, one of the biggest lessons besides that one that I learned was from great-grandpa Maynard. Sometimes he watches my live. He might laugh at me. But I was young. Steve and I just got married, and I talk a lot. And I talked a lot, but I talked a lot over people. I wouldn't listen. I would talk. And then if I had something to say, I wouldn't wait for that person to stop talking. I would just butt in. And one day, at a family event, Maynard turned and looked at me, and he said, do you ever just stop talking and listen to people before you say something? And he didn't mean it meanly, but in my heart, I was devastated. I was like mortified. I was like wanted to cry and embarrassed. And you want to know what? That was the shift. That was the word. Sometimes it's hard to hear things like that, but I'm not saying I was perfect right away, but that one word from somebody who did care about me shifted everything. I was like, I have to listen. Even if I have something to say, other people do too. And I learned and I focused and I really practiced the art of listening to people and letting them speak. And sometimes I have to tell myself, you know what? As much as I have something to say right now, it doesn't need to be said. Like, I've been working on just not saying anything unless either somebody wants my opinion or it is an appropriate time. But it's okay sometimes to not speak and to just. So that's what was on my heart to share with you. You're driving your bus. You're going to have people that get on your bus for a certain period of time, people that stay on your bus for a lifetime, and people that will get off. And hopefully the ones that are negative, that are, friends, or maybe you're working on being healthier. Maybe you're working on quitting an unhealthy habit, right? Like we talked about, like drinking is an easy one to talk about because there's lots of people working on being sober or changing things in their life. And if you've got friends who are constantly going to out every weekend and you're like, I actually can't do that anymore, then those people might be getting off your bus very soon. I just give that example because it's an easy example, right? So you're driving your bus, you're staying focused and have the realization and the understanding that there will be people on and off your bus for the rest of your life. And it's okay. You get to choose your friends, even though sometimes it hurts to get to step away from some friend groups. And you are worthy of going after what you're truly called to do. There's greatness inside of you. I hope that you know that. I'm really excited to do this book. Mainly because I need a new focus. Steve, my husband, was looking at all of the goals that he set for this year. And there are some goals that he didn't accomplish or like that were on his goals or dream board for this year because our life shifted. There was things that changed. We accomplished a ton. we still has a little less than 60 days, but he's like, here's the things that we've accomplished. Here's the things that we actually don't need to. Things shifted. We're not going to do that. So I'm excited to refocus, figure out what the next year looks like for us, write it down for myself, for my husband, for our family. So we're going to do this. If you want to join us, great. If you want to just tune in, great. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great morning. We have a super busy, incredible, amazing day. I will tell you, we also have if you saw in my stories, some of our very good friends, their son is having a surgery today, and he's young. He's 15. His name is Carter. We would love it if you would pray for him. So he is having a pacemaker. I'm not going to explain the whole story, just knowing that their family is at peace and they've got great doctors. It is going to be great today. So pray for Carter and his family. Pray for a smooth surgery and a quick recovery and complete peace over the doctors. We ask that you pray that, please. So y'all are amazing. Thank you for tuning in. Reach out with questions. I'm always here to help. Continue to tune into the page. Those who are joining us on the turkey trim, make sure that you're plugged into the groups. If you grabbed your kit, you need to grab it. We'll be starting that next week. Otherwise, ask any of your keto low carb questions. You can go to ketomomsecrets.com, click on recipes. You can click on book club. You can click on how to get started. There's a lot of things that you can click on, or just send me a message and I'm here to help. Hey, you guys, tell Tisha happy birthday. Tisha Wilson. She's my very good friend. I know you're all praying. So you're praying for Carter. He's an incredible, incredible young man. I was going to say kid, but he's 15. He's one of our girls' best friends. So thank you for those prayers. Tell Tisha happy birthday. It is going to be a really great day. I appreciate you all, and we'll talk to you very soon. Bye, everybody.